So big news has happened federally regarding Kratom and 7-OH. And what does this mean for you, especially if you're in one of the states that has already banned Kratom entirely? But the question that I think remains is, why did these states entirely ban Kratom? If you're in Kentucky, Tennessee, Kansas, or Ohio, exclusion on Ohio because powder is still legal. I think what is important for you to realize is that state by state, there's no such thing as extradition. Tennessee was never allowed to sell 7-hydroxy, but they had an enforcement issue, meaning they would have to go shop to shop to try and enforce the products that are being sold on the shelf, and they knew that there was no budget for that, there was no ability to make an impact on that level. The majority of 7-hydroxy products were not being produced in Tennessee, so if you're in South Carolina pressing tablets, selling them into Tennessee, Tennessee can't do anything about it. They can write you nasty letters, they can send you pissed off emails, but they can't come and visit you. You're not going to be able to be prosecuted. However, with the federal law change that we're going to see in the next 30 days, it means that the DEA or other federal agencies have the ability to raid any facility in any part of the United States, and that changes everything. These states have completely eliminated commerce of Kratom in general as a response to not being able to enforce any laws within their state. And it kind of makes sense. Unless these state police department is going to hire another 10,000 officers, unless they're going to give a budget to the Department of Agriculture to go shop to shop, they really have no means of enforcing anything at the store level, and thereby they cannot stop the sale of a product. But if they make everything illegal, it's a much broader brush to paint with. So the most important thing, if you're in Tennessee, Ohio, Kentucky, or Kansas, is to start making some noise to get raw Kratom powder, capsules, or even basic extracts back on the table. And I think now is the best time to do it, because Papa federal government basically just said, we're cool with natural leaf Kratom, we're cool with extracts as long as it represents what's found in the plant. We're not cool with elevated levels of the synthetic derivatives of Kratom. Now is the time to make your voice heard, pick up the phone, call the Ohio Board of Pharmacy, call your state representative if you're in Kansas or Tennessee, and get them to reverse their ruling on Kratom. If we don't make noise, we can't expect anything to change, and I think it would be a true tragedy for anybody to get in trouble for possession of Kratom powder or capsules or basic Kratom extracts. In 30 days, the entire landscape of Kratom is going to change, and I hate to say that just because 7-OH is going away, but let's be real. There's a lot more money being spent on synthetic derivatives of Kratom than actual Kratom at this point. It's 5x the total revenue of the entire industry in a 1.5 to 2 year time frame. So losing it on a federal level means that there is federal recourse for bad actors that wasn't there before. That means that the states that have an enforcement problem should feel much more comfortable with the commerce of basic Kratom products. And if you guys don't pick up the phone, and if we don't make noise as a collective industry and consumer base, they'll be none the wiser, and these terrible laws will be able to move ahead. So I urge you, take action. Get involved. Sign up for the AKA. Sign up for the GKC. These people are spokespeople for the industry. Money makes the world go round for them, but nonetheless, they're there to protect the products that you love, that I love, and in this particular case, they protect the industry that I work in and feel so passionately about. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment below if you got something to say. Otherwise, like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm and it helps us go further.